Welcome to the Clionadh Chronicles part 4. If you don't know what this is, in each of these parts I show you looks with 3 randomly chosen Clionadh shades that a Wheel of Fortune is choosing for us. So I will spin the wheel before every single look, then you see what shade the wheel has chosen for us, and then I will show you a swatch, a description of the shade, and then pick out the palette that I'm going to use with this. In today's episode we have the oh so viral shade Myrrh, that's not my favorite. Then we have the shade the BENDS, that is from the Deep Sea Treasure palette, and the one that I'm wearing right now is Vermeil. So let's head over to the 3 looks. Okay, let's see what the makeup gods are providing us with, and the shade today is Myrrh. Why? Do you see this? Why isn't this shown on top? Usually when I spin, then the second time it's shown, but you see it below the reel. It's Myrrh. So it is this shade. It used to have a different name. It was called Will-O-Wisp. And here we have it. The website says Myrrh has a sheer acidic chartreuse base that shifts bright cobalt / ultraviolet. And there is also a little please note, Myrrh may contain small pink or dark pigment flecks. This is completely normal due to some of the denser pigments escaping the blending process a little. Use as normal and enjoy. I really do not like the shade. I know that a lot of people love it, that it's a very community favorite, but if this didn't have this chartreuse base and shifts from translucent to blue, that would be nicer. I mean, I love these shifty tones, 100%. I'm just bothered by the green base. I think that's my main problem. So let me just think of an eyeshadow palette that I can use this with. Okay, I will use again a palette from my chopping blog, this time Sugar and Spice from Glaminatrix. I think this can be incorporated very nice here because we have those kind of weird mattes in here. I do have some other shades for the shimmer that I can incorporate, and I want to do something more light this time, so not very smoky. I think a smoky look does really not match with this one. Maybe that's why I have a hard time thinking of a look. So let's just do it. So I'm starting with the shade Brulee, and I apply this very sloppy in my transition area up to the brow. And then I also use Moringa because it does have a very light minty tone. And that one I start to blend on the inner transition part and across the lid a bit. I now go into Sticky Date, and that one I run through the crease. I applied my glitter glue, and now I go directly into Myrrh, and I start to apply this in the front of the lid. Bring it up to the center. Okay, I decided to apply this all over the lid. I feel like if I now add a regular shimmer, it's going to be way too harsh. But I went back into Sticky Date and I just reapply that outer V darkness. So I'm skipping the liner and I go straight into Sticky Date, and I very roughly smudge this along the lower lash line. I now go into the shade Vanilla, and that one I use as inner corner highlight. And here we have the first finished look. I'm wearing on the lips the Charlotte Tilbury Super Size Me lip liner, and I topped it off with this Gurkle Peach Festival lipstick. It's like a glossy stick, and the shade is L06 Before Sunrise. I have to admit that before I did this look here in the video, I only used Myrrh as inner corner highlight and never all over the lid. And as inner corner highlight, I was really disturbed, not disturbed, but it felt not right, you know, that this has a green base with the blue shift. But I have to admit, with this more soft crease and then all over the lid, and even together with that vanilla shade from Glaminatrix, I feel like this shade shines a lot more. So I take back what I said in the beginning. It's not my favorite shade, and it will probably never be, and I will never love it as much as a lot of people in the community do, but I can appreciate the thought behind that shade, and I can appreciate the effect this shade has. So let's head over now to look number 2. Okay, let's spin the wheel for the next shade, and it is the BENDS. The BENDS is just another shade from the Deep Sea Treasure palette, and it is this one here. So the BENDS is described on the website, though deep sea divers must be trained and skilled, any makeup enthusiast can swim in this shade. A rich teal base with large glitter particles shifting lilac, beige, yellow with hints of lime. So here we have the swatch. I see the pinks, I don't see the lime. So in the phone video you can see also a lot of pinks, but I'm missing the lime. But nonetheless, beautiful shade. And I kind of started to take these Clionadh videos to just go through my chopping block palettes. And since this is a blue tealy color, I'm pulling again in the Silent Night from Gourmand Girls. So I'm gonna start with the shade Mother here, and I start to blend this on the inner crease and bring it up to the center. Then I go into Twinkie and I start to blend this from the center on outwards in the crease. And then I go into Silent Night. That one I use here on the outer V, darkening everything and also bring it into the crease. And with what is left on the brush, I bring it inwards towards the yellow. So why the unnecessary step with Twinkie? Well, to have a bit of a like in-between shade, to not have just the blue and then slap it on, to just soften it a bit. So tap back into Mother, and I'm just building that shade back up. Glitter glue is down, so now I go into the BENDS. It really is a bit more gritty with bigger particles, but to be honest, I kind of like this formulation a lot more than those super fine ones. And I start to apply BENDS in the center, and I bring that outwards so that I have here the most pigmentation, and whatever is left I tap inwards, but I leave the most inner part bare, because I want to incorporate the shade Peace from the Silent Night palette. Feel like this matches the whole vibe. And I apply this on the inner lid parts. And you know me, where both meet, I just swipe it across, tap back in, swipe back, build up shades, and try to do an even gradient. I feel like I haven't sat that in a long time. To line the eyes, I'm using the Nabla Cupid's Arrow in powder blue to give a bit of a contrast with that light blue. Apply this on the waterline. And then I go into Silent Night again. And I smudge Silent Night on the outer half of the lower lash line. And then I go into Twinkie. Oh, it's Twinkle, it's not Twinkie. I'm sorry, it's Twinkle. I was the whole time thinking, what the fuck is Twinkie? But it's Twinkle. And I use this to smudge it on the rest and also to mix it with the blue. I think that is enough. I don't need to smudge it out any further, to be honest. And the question is now, break the look or make it cohesive? We're making it cohesive. I wanted to use the shade Starry on the inner corner, but I just can't imagine right now how this is going to look. So I use Frosty. It's one of those super glitchy shades that's transparent, but then turns into purple. So that will work. Apply this right here. Yes, good choice. And here we have the finished look. Please don't mind the hair. It's like freshly blow dried and really not under control because I didn't use any hairspray. So on the lips, I used the Natasha Denona My Dream lip pencil, filled that nearly in, and then I used the Fenty Blaze Donut gloss sticks on top. I am not really happy with this look, but that has nothing actually to do with the Clionadh shade. This has mainly to do with this part here. My plan was that if I add the yellow and then blend some blue on top, I get a greeny shade. And if then I add more of the yellow, I turn that greeny shade more into a lime shade to just complement the, well, apparently lime shift in the bands, which I still do not see even on the eyes. But what I ended up with is this looking like I'm bruised. So I'm not really happy about this. I'm also not happy about the blush that I paired this with. I do not feel very good today. I don't know, maybe I just powder it down a bit more. It's, the whole look is really, I feel clownish, to be honest. But the thing is, it is what it is now, so I have to go like this to the office now. And while I suffer through that, you will see look number 3. Okay, let's see what the wheel has given us for look number 3. It is the shade Vermeil. Why isn't this on top anymore? Looks weird. Okay, it's Vermeil. So Vermeil is a jeweled multi-chrome and it is this shade up here. And I am very, very confused because the shade cannot be found on the Clionadh website anymore. Even in the bundle with the full jeweled multi-chrome collection, it says, please note that this bundle no longer contains Vermeil. Does anybody have info what happened with Vermeil? But thankfully there is a post on Temptalia on this, and it says Vermeil Jeweled Multichrome is a black-based multichrome that shifted between warmer, darker orange gold to yellow gold to olive green, more forest green paired with a metallic finish. Per the brand, it shifts between warm gold, yellow, lime. So I tried to find a poster or anything that told me why Vermeil is gone, but there is no. So here you have a swatch. The jeweled multi-chromes are not very glittery. They are very smooth metallic chromes. And I do see the green. I see the lime, while on the Temptalia block it said no real lime. But it looks very pretty. But also in the video here you can clearly see the bronziness of that shade. So this actually looks like a very nice fall shade. So I will pair it with some fall tones, another chopping block palette. This is the OG Tarte Maneater palette, and I will combine it with these mattes in here. Starting with the shade Passion, I apply this into the crease, but with a bigger brush, so I can easily blend it up into the transition area. I then go into the shade Alluring, and I apply this also in the crease, but I focus it in the crease for more depth. I now go into Fantasy. I know this is a shimmer shade, but I try to use it a bit different because I do apply this on the outer third and I smudge it out and a bit into the crease. I applied my glitter glue and now I go into Vermeil and I apply this on the complete lid. And then I used the brush I used the deeper crease shade with. I forgot the name sadly. And I just diffused the shimmer here so that we do not have a harsh cut crease line. Since this look is quite fawny and bronzy, I'm using the About Face Line Artist in the shade So Important. And I line my waterline with that. It's a very, very intense, fiery orange red. And then I tap into Alluring and blend that along the lash line. And I also go into Passion again and use this underneath to smoke it out. I want to do a loud and intense inner corner, so I use the shade Wild at Heart or Sundown. No, I take Wild at Heart and apply this on the inner corner. And here we have now the finished look. For the lips, I went with Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner and I filled it in with the 90s pink Kissing lipstick. To be honest, this episode of the Clionadh Chronicles was not very successful. I mean, the Myrrh look, the first one, it was okay. that shade will never win my heart like other Clionadh shades will do. The BENDS look number 2, that was much, much better. Not perfect, but I liked it so much more. And today, Vermeil, very beautiful, but a tad bit too green for me. But at the end, it's not always what I prefer. It's just a demo for you so you can see how you can incorporate these very, very special shades. Let me know down below which one is your favorite, and well, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out any of these parts, and I see you in the next one.